Hello, Vine Church. It's Pastor Katie here, and I am so excited to introduce you once again to our next associate pastor, Jack Lee. There he is. He's right here. Hello,
Hi,
Jack.
everyone.
Thanks for
Hello.
joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So Jack's first Sunday with us is going to be July 3rd. I hope you can join us then. He's going to be preaching, and then he'll be part of rotation and part of everything we do at the Vine. And I could not be more excited about the gifts that Jack brings, his just authentic faith, his story. And I can't wait for you all to get to know Jack as well. But we're going to start today with a few of the really hard-hitting questions. I mean, we really want to get to know you, Jack. We don't want you to hold anything back. The kind of deep theology, the deep, like just gut wrenching. We want you to spill it all. So I've created a short list of questions. And so I'll start with this one that I really think probably gets to the heart of who you are. What is your favorite snack food, Jack Lee?
Oh man, the hardest hitting question to begin with. I'm embarrassed to say
Okay.
my favorite snack is Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Really?
Yeah, and it's embarrassing because I don't know if you've eaten Flamin' Hot Cheetos, but your fingers get stained red for a couple days if
Yeah,
you don't really wash it thoroughly.
it's true. You can't pretend you didn't eat them. We will all know.
Exactly. Yeah. And you can remember the taste from watching your fingers.
Got you. Good. It stays with you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Flaming hot Cheetos. Okay, that's good. That does reveal something important about you, I think. What about some favorite hobbies? What are the things you like to do when you're not at church?
Well, recently I've picked up a new hobby from my brother-in-law.
Oh,
He was really into Warhammer 40K. It's
oh,
like a really nerdy thing, but it's you can make figurines,
oh,
very small figurines. You get like an X-Acto knife, you get some clippers, and you put it all together with some glue. But then afterward, you get to paint it to your design. So it's been a really fun hobby of just getting something a little tactile and then putting stuff together. Yeah.
and then do you display them? Do you play a game with them? Like,
Yeah.
it,
So it is a tabletop game. So
okay,
you get like an army together. As I know it's
wow.
sometimes a little violent, but you get an army together and you roll dice, a bunch of dice. But some people just make them just to displays too.
Yeah, that is very cool. I like the game Risk.
Oh, I love Risk.
You do? So it
Yeah.
sounds like Risk with like cooler figures than just the little plastic things.
Yeah,
Maybe.
kind of. And you get to play around with the terrain and stuff. So it gets really immersive.
All right, very cool, Jack. Thank you. All right, what about sports teams? Is there anyone you really root for or don't root for?
Yeah, I used to play football when I was in high school with my
Okay,
friends.
okay.
Right before I was able to actually start on the football team, I broke my leg, so I wasn't able to have that career that I
Okay.
dreamed of. But I've always loved the Seahawks because I grew up in Washington State.
Okay.
But then now that I'm in Maryland, I went to UMBC for a little bit, so I was a fan of the Ravens, and
Okay.
they're still the team that I associate the most with.
Okay. The Seahawks and the Ravens. You maybe just made some friends or lost some friends. I'm not sure how that I'm
Yeah.
not sure how that's gonna fall. All right, what about collections? Are you a collector? Is there anything you collect that you have all of the things or you want all the things, you like having the things?
For collections, I haven't really tried to collect too much, but like similarly with that hobby that I
Oh
was
yeah.
talking about, I do like to kind of collect a lot of the boxes,
Okay.
so that I can see what they're supposed to look like, not necessarily what I've created.
Gotcha. That's that's wonderful. Do you display the boxes? I know that's a
I
thing.
I keep them in a way
Okay.
where I can clearly see what
You
they're
can still
supposed to
see them.
be from
Okay,
my
good.
desk, from my
Very good.
from my working desk.
Very good. All right, and maybe this answer is associated with that, but do you have like a most prized possession? I think the way this question is normally asked is you've got to abandon your home for whatever reason and you can grab one thing. Like what would that one thing be?
I think that my degree from Wesley Theological Seminary is actually one of the things that I'm most proud of.
Nice.
It was a long journey to get there, and I think that that would be something that I would consider irreplaceable.
Mm,
So I think I would actually take my degree.
nice. Nice, because so that's cool. So it represents this like larger journey, this piece
Yeah.
of your life. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. All right, what about bucket lists? Like, I know you've done a bunch of cool stuff in your life. Again, I look forward to learning more about that. I can't wait for our congregation to hear more of your stories. But what's something you haven't done yet that's on your bucket list that someday you hope you can do?
This is kind of nerdy being a Methodist, but
Okay.
I heard about the circuit riders of Methodism, John Wesley being on horseback,
Yeah.
riding something about 250,000 miles on horseback through his ministry. I've never ridden a horse, and my bucket list is to ride a horse. And this second part of it is a little ambitious, but
Okay.
hearing that Wesley preached on horseback, I would love to preach a sermon on horseback. That would be amazing.
Jack, I feel like we need to make this happen at the Vine at
I
some
would love
point
that.
for you. Not your first Sunday. I can't promise you a pony
Yeah.
on your first Sunday, but at some point. In the old days, the circuit riders would be given a horse. So part of getting your new circuit or your ordination was a horse that was provided for you. So we're not providing you a horse this year, but maybe at some point. That's a great bucket list. I love that.
Yeah.
All right, aside from necessities, so you can't say like food, water, or shelter. Aside from necessities, what's one thing you can't live without? And I'm going to limit you even more. You can't say flaming hot Cheetos.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I think if I only have flaming hot Cheetos, I don't think it would be enough nutrition.
Your skin would start to turn that burnt
Yeah,
orange
my
color.
whole hand would be covered with that red
Right.
stain.
Right.
Aside from necessities, let's see. Something, it has to be a thing.
I'll take anything.
Yeah, honestly, I would take one of my closest friends,
Oh, nice.
Hyun.
Okay.
Yeah, he knows all survival stuff,
Oh,
so
good.
I'll be able to rely on him to keep me alive. Um, but also we just spend such good time just praying for each other, keeping each other encouraged when we're down. Honestly, I think if I could take a person or a companion, it would be a person for sure.
That's awesome. That's a beautiful answer. And so I don't know if this is going to be the same answer or somebody different, but who in the world knows you best?
Hmm. I think a lot of people see me as an open book at
Mhm.
times because I really like to show myself as and try to be as authentic as possible. But I'm a super introvert, so I
Mm,
do like privacy too.
yeah.
Um, but I would say my mom probably knows me better than anyone else in the world.
Yeah.
Um, we wake up in the middle of the night together and we just swap stories. We just make each other laugh. We get each other. Um, I would say that my mom, I would say that most of my family know me very well, um, and a few close friends. Yeah.
That is such a beautiful answer. And we're recording this a few days before Mother's Day. So I love just honoring your mom and that role of motherhood and that connection that you all continue to share. So yay, mom. Yay, Jack's mom. We can't wait to
Yeah.
meet you also.
Yeah.
All right, Jack, if we had a church talent show and you had to perform, what is your useless talent that you would get on stage with?
You know, I have a few, but I think the one that I'm most notorious for is making dad jokes or puns.
Okay.
But the sad thing is, when people ask me to come up with a pun on the fly,
Yeah.
I just get so anxious that I can't come up with
You can't
something.
do it.
Yeah.
It's natural. It just has to like flow out of you in the moment.
It's contextual.
Okay. Good. Oh man, I cannot wait for seasons together of contextual dad jokes.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. All right, Jack, my last question for you. Is there anything that you're excited about as you come to the Vine?
I'm excited about so many things. It's been really hard to process all of the many things that I'm excited about, but really, I'm really excited to just meet all of you, to serve together, to grow together, to share our lives. Um, yeah, I mean, relationships are the most important thing to me, and I can't wait to develop deep relationship with all of you. I'm so excited for that.
Oh man, Jack, we are so excited too. We feel confident that God is up to something at the Vine and that you are part of that. and that we need you and you need us, and that somehow God's drawing us together in this season so that we can love God and love our neighbors well. So thank you for saying yes to your call and for joining us. And we can't wait to see you a little later this summer. All right.
Yeah.
Bye, Jack.
Thank you, Pastor Katie.